Welcome back. Here with me now are the stars of FX's new adaptation of the classic Charles Dickens novel, A Christmas Carol, Guy Pearce and Joe Alwyn. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Thanks for joining us. I think we have a clip from the miniseries. Let's take a look.
Thought we'd agreed that today, on account of the day it is, I could go home at 3.
I give you an extra lump of coal, and straight away you want to snip an extra hour off the day. 3 becomes 4, 4 becomes 3. I don't care for your revolutionary mathematics.
Tense scene, I will say. I think that's the first scene between the two of you. Kind of sets up the relationship between your two iconic characters. We were just saying when you sat down, this adaptation is really scary, right?
It's definitely darker than some of the others, yeah. I think it definitely delves into, aspects of behaviour that are sort of perhaps a little more confronting than other versions have been.
And is that why you were drawn to it, because it was darker?
Yeah, I think so. And the script, I mean, Steve Knight, our writer, is really beautiful writer. So, just to get to deliver those lines are a wonderful experience.
I'm trying to classify this, Joe. Do you think this is a horror film?
I mean, it's got some pretty jumpy aspects to it.
Yeah.
It's still in the framework of the original, but I think what he's done is just kind of drilled deeper into the text and read between the lines into areas that haven't been explored before, but still very much make sense to what people are used to. And that takes you into just quite uncomfortable places at times.
Yeah, and I think just generally the whole thing is sort of ramped up. The extremity of what is horrific, what is sad, what is dangerous, what is kind of, whatever else is just feels more sort of robust perhaps than some other versions. It still obviously leads towards the redemption that we know A Christmas Carol to deliver.
The Christmas movie, yeah. But you said that this kind of horror has always been at the heart of it, kind of in the undertones and stuff. Why do you think the other versions kind of sort of skirted around it as much as they did?
Well, I mean, I guess everyone is leading toward redemption and
Sure.
it's a Christmas tale, so there's something sort of safe and cosy and family-oriented about it. But I think that's what drew Nick, our director, Nick Murphy, and Steve Knight, our writer, wanted to do something that was more confronting, and I think in this day and age of great confronting television, if you're going to do another version of this, then do something different.
Yeah. We saw the scene there of you guys, and I think that's the first scene between the two of you, kind of setting up the working relationship that your characters have. Pretty tense, as I said. Did you try to keep it that tense when the cameras weren't rolling?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Was there a bit of a kind of, you were Scrooge off camera as well?
No, not at all. No, it was quite fun.
Usually...
I was making jokes all the time.
Okay.
Really good Russian jokes.
Good. So you're not really one for
funny,
the method kind of stuff?
Funny jokes.
We'd actually worked together before.
I know, and Mary, Queen of Scots, right?
Yeah.
And so it was easy to get back on set together. And Yeah, that's good.
Did it.
I want to know, I was doing my research for this, and there was an article that I came across on the British outlet Radio Times, and the headline was Scrooge always hot? How do you feel about playing a hot Scrooge?
Wow. I'll take it. I don't know how hot I actually look as Scrooge, to be honest, so I don't know the answer to that.
Well, certainly compared to some of the other versions we've seen, you're a lot younger.
Well,
right?
one of the things that Nick Murphy and I talked about that he was very keen to sort of impart was that this Scrooge is younger, is more a functioning businessman. He is of the world. He is a present character in the world and takes on life. He's not somebody who's sort of so wizened up and sort of scurrying away from everything and sort of living in the shadows. So they just wanted a different kind of attitude. They wanted somebody with some swagger, I guess. So, me with all my reams of swagger.
Swagger, clearly.
That's clearly perfectly
It's in your bio on IMDb, I think, swagger.
That's right.
I have to ask, because speaking of hotness, in Hollywood news was this Instagram that Kumail Nanjiani posted.
That he's all buff now?
That he's huge and buff because he's starring in the new Marvel film coming out.
Yeah.
But he was pretty honest about just how, privileged he was in order to have a studio pay for all of it and the kind of work that goes into it and stuff like that. And I think it started a pretty interesting conversation about kind of male body image that Hollywood and superhero films like that kind of perpetuate. And I'm wondering if you guys have any thoughts on that being in the industry.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's always expectations that you're sort of leading, that your leading characters on screen are going to look slightly heroic and, fitter than everybody else, more beautiful than everybody else, etc. So it's a tenuous kind of subject, I suppose, because in many ways it's not really representing real life. I mean, obviously for him, that's how he really looks now. But, ask him in 5 years' time when he doesn't have a studio paying for his gym workouts and he's with his beer belly. So we'll see.
Joe, have you felt pressure? Have you been approached to play in any superhero films and just been daunted by how much work that's going to be?
I haven't felt any. No, there's been.
Go on, get your six-pack out now, Joe. Go on.
What's wrong with this?
I think that might increase our numbers, I would say.
What are you trying to say?
Get your 7-pack out.
Yeah.
Go on.
Maybe later.
Maybe later. Okay, I want to speak about a film that you were recently in, The Favourite, which was just incredible. I loved that film. I think that was my favourite film from last year. You obviously worked with Olivia Colman in that. I got to know, have you watched The Crown? Have you seen her on The Crown yet?
I haven't seen The Crown yet, no.
Oh, you've got...
I've seen the first 2 seasons.
Okay.
I thought it was brilliant, but not yet. But yeah, I'm sure she's phenomenal in it. She's incredible. She's a real force.
She is a force.
A lovely person.
They seem to be casting every British actor that there is in that show. Do you think you can see yourself playing, I don't know, who could you play in the royal family?
In The Crown?
Yeah, in The Crown. You've played a royal yourself, obviously in The King's Speech, but I'm wondering what...
Where do I fit in?
Yeah, where would you fit in?
I don't actually know.
I think you got a Prince
Diana?
George. Prince George. You want to play Diana? Okay. I think if we get to Prince George, like when he's your age, I could see that. But maybe we go into the future there as well. Guy, speaking of one of your classic films, I've got to talk Australian, right? Priscilla. I'm sorry, we've got to go back to this.
Please. Let's go, right.
Do you think now with just how...
Playing Kings and Queens?
Yes, speaking of Kings and Queens, that's good. That's a better transition. Do you think, given how sort of popular and prevalent drag culture is it's a real mainstream thing now as well, do you look back at that film and think like, wow, I was really kind of an early part of something there?
Definitely. I mean, and at the time, I think we really sort of realised that maybe not when we were making the film, but once the film came out and we were travelling the world and doing promotion for it and going to sort of various places around the world and, drag queens were turning up at premieres and there was a lot of conversations about, there were conversations about the fact that there were 3 straight guys playing 3 drag queens, so that was one thing. But it just really felt like people were ready for this and really wanted this and that, and so we started to feel like, well, maybe we're part of, something. This is sort of great to be part of something that's a conversation that at least needs to start happening, So, and yes, you do look back now at the 20-odd years since we made it and I think it sort of struck at the right time.
You just picking up on what you said there, do you think 3 straight guys could be in a film like that today?
I think they can, but I think they'd probably cop some criticism.
Yeah, fair enough. Do you do you watch drag shows? Have you got a favourite drag queen that's on TV or anything like that?
I'm just like every Saturday night. I don't.
You're not at the shows?
I'm not at the shows.
Fair enough.
Maybe if we ever do a sequel,
well, I would
have to sort of get back to the show.
Good.
Who should I see?
Oh, well, you can start with just RuPaul's Drag Race and just get on that. It's good fun.
Yeah, no, I've seen a bit of RuPaul in my time.
Okay, good. Fair enough. Okay, bring us back full circle, Christmas Carol. What are your plans for Christmas, guys? How are you spending Christmas?
Well, get in drag. Get in drag first.
Traditional Christmas drag.
Well, I'll be having Christmas in Amsterdam. So
wow, what's in Amsterdam?
Well, my little boy's there, and my partner Carice is there. So I'll be having Christmas there. They have Sinterklaas, not Santa Claus,
of course.
And he gave the presents on the 5th of December, so he comes early. I guess because he then has to travel around the rest of the world, and give presents to everyone else. So I'm getting a handle. Yeah, I'm getting a handle on the 5th or 6th. I think. I'm getting a handle on how different it is there, but. All I know is that it's not hot like it is in Australia.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, what about you, Joe? What's your Christmas
I'll be in London. With family in London and probably pretty cold. Doing the same old traditional things we do every year.
Are you a Christmas lunch family or a Christmas dinner family?
Well, I think we start out with the expectation of lunch.
Okay.
But cooking leads it into dinner.
Right, so
it
everyone's
never
pretty
happens
hungry.
on time.
You just sort of graze all day, don't you, really? You get to the end of the day and you're still eating bits of turkey and sort of roast, that's right. Yeah, Christmas pudding. Do I need any more Christmas pudding? Yes, yeah.
Do you miss the Aussie Christmas, Guy?
I do, yeah. It's been, I'll probably be there next Christmas, but It's been 2 years since I've had a Christmas at home, so...
It's beautiful, right? Yeah, we're very lucky.
You going to be there for Christmas?
I will. Sorry, Joe. Yeah, you guys, you're going to miss out on this summer Christmas. You guys are very welcome. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. A Christmas Carol premieres on FX tomorrow night. More AM to DM is up next.